bum, 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 bum. You guys know you like that intro music, right? Like a little theme song here. Every time it goes on, I like drop a little shoulder like that. I'm like, dun, 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 dun. Anyways, my name's Dave Sharpe. I'm going to be your pilot today. We're going to take this plane for a little ride and talk to my man, Thaddeus. If you guys are new to this show or you're wondering when we do it, why we do it, well, first and foremost, make sure that you text, if you want reminders every morning, WUL to the phone number 813-296-8553. Again, I feel like the guy on the infomercial. And wait, there's more. Again, call now. No, text now. WUL, not cap sensitive. WUL stands for Wake Up Legendary. WUL to 813-296-8553. And we'll send you a little text message reminder. Just like that. I actually just got mine. So let's bring in the man of the hour. My man, Thaddeus. Welcome to the show, brother.
What's going on, Dave? How we doing this morning?
Good, my man. Where are you calling in from?
Over here in Georgia. About 45 minutes north of Atlanta.
I see you got that Falcons hat on, my man.
Oh, you know it. Always.
Really? Are you a big sports fan there in Atlanta?
I'm a big Falcons fan. I've just kind of fallen into that. I've always kind of been drawn more to the football aspect than the other teams. I was a big Braves fan back in the 90s when I was younger, but baseball kind of, I don't know, it just never really captured my attention for very long.
Well, me too. I was a big Braves fan growing up. John Smoltz, back in the John Smoltz and the Greg Maddux era, right? When they had the gruesome foursome. They had John Smoltz, Greg Abbott, and two other, Steve Avery, I think was his name.
Yeah, Steve lefty. Avery. Yeah.
And then they had one more. Can't remember his name.
Smoltz, Glavin, Maddux, Avery. I cannot remember
Glavin,
the last
Maddux,
name.
Avery. Yeah, that's it. Glavin.
I think that's it.
Glavin.
Tom Glavin.
What was it?
Tom Glavin.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I was a pitcher growing up in baseball. So, I mean, they had what my other favorite pitcher was Randy Johnson for the Mariners, Seattle Mariners, the big lefty. But man, I think they had one of the best pitching staffs of all time there back in, I think it was the 90s with John Smoltz. And Greg Maddux was, period. Yeah, I mean, Greg Maddux was kind of their top of the food chain starter, but they were all good. I mean, they were all fantastic. Yeah. It was a fun team to watch. So, anyways, let's talk about you and your business. How did you get started? I mean, this is your first venture online. Am I right about that?
Absolutely. Well, like I would say, I mean, obviously 2020, so many people obviously stuck inside. And as the year kind of progressed, I started, I stumbled across TikTok, started watching, random videos, just, like so many people that you have on the show. And actually stumbled across someone talking about some books, and I actually read "I Will Teach You to Be Rich." And after reading
Imran, is that by Imran?
Like Ramit Sethi, I think is his name.
Yeah, Ramit. Okay, yeah, that's right, Ramit.
Yeah. I might be mispronouncing it. Yeah,
me too. But anyways, go on. So you read that.
So I read that, and I started, because I've always really been big into trying to set myself up for later. And then after reading that and it really made me to kind of dive into my financial situation and realized that I was nowhere close to anywhere being prepared to actually see any type of retirement. So, I started dabbling into online space, trying to figure out ways to make money online. Obviously it ran into a lot of roadblocks, a lot of just kind of, nickel and diamond, so to speak. And then I actually ran across Spencer Meacham's TikTok. And he was talking about affiliate marketing. And so I was like, well, what is this? I've never even heard of affiliate marketing. And he simplified it so well that I was like, I started digging into it. And then I stumbled across people talking about the 15-day business builder challenge. So TikTok does what it does. It kept feeding me those videos. And I was like, what is this challenge? I've got to figure this out. So I literally went online, actually looked up Legendary, and then boom, here I am. And I fell in love with the whole concept. And I think it's just amazing, especially if you're just starting out. It's really a really great concept. So that's kind of how I wound up here.
So going through the challenge, what did talk to us about some of your aha moments. I mean, you talked about the book and how you had sort of, some aha moments about, your financial situation or et cetera. But talk to us about some of your aha moments going through the challenge and kind of learning about affiliate marketing, the different ways that you can sell information and so forth.
Well, when I was going through the challenge, after watching the videos, it was kind of like one of those things where, I've always been I'm super observant. So when I start doing something, I notice it everywhere. So then everything started to click. Okay, so when I'm looking for that new TV, oh, those are all affiliate people talking about, oh, click here. Oh, I'm looking for a new cat food for my sick cat. Oh, those are all affiliate links as well. So I just started seeing it everywhere. And I was like, oh my God, this is so super endless and limitless in what you can actually start doing with it. So those were the big aha moments that I had as I was going through the challenge, and realized that, it's so vast and almost endless that, I mean, literally anything that you're passionate about, you can start doing. So that was the biggest aha moment as I was going through the challenge.
So you started to kind of realize that people were doing affiliate marketing all around you and you never knew it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's like you go online, you start looking for this, that, or the other, and you're all over affiliate marketing websites and you don't even realize it, blog posts, et cetera.
Well, exactly. Like if you Google something and you're sitting there reading a review of a website or a review of a product, right? So a lot of times we just read those reviews and never think, why did this person write this review? Right? We just read the review and we take it at face value and we just believe it for what it is, right?
Absolutely.
Instead of reading between the lines, if you will, and asking ourselves, well, what is the motivation behind this person writing this blog post? And are they recommending this product because they get paid a lot of commissions? Are they recommending the product because it's a good quality product? Are they doing it just out of the goodness of their heart? Just reading between the lines. One of the things that has happened and does happen in the online space is when you launch a course or something, a bunch of people go out and start writing blog posts that are negative about you. And so what sort of the naive person who doesn't really understand online marketing, they might read that article and be like, oh my God, I found this article about this guru or this company or this program, and people have written articles like this about us. And maybe they might, bring them to me and say, well, what do you think about this? And I say, well, I think the person's doing affiliate marketing. They're trashing one product and ranking for the name for that product, right? Or that course, only to then go and at the bottom of the blog post say, well, here's my number one recommendation or whatever. Right. And it appears as if it's just a gentle, innocent recommendation, but it's really an affiliate link. And I say, well, it's a clever way to do affiliate marketing, And so that's cool, dude. That's really an interesting insight. Somebody yesterday said, it finally clicked how all these influencers make money. Like people with these big, huge Instagram accounts and stuff. I never knew they had all these cars and all these expensive things, and it looked like they were just posting content. And I was like, where are they making their money from? And it's like, I finally got it. They're recommending products and they're an affiliate of those products. It's kind of mind blowing, isn't it, bro?
That's it. I mean, absolutely. Like it's crazy when you just don't know what you don't know, that's like the greatest way to say it.
Exactly. So now you do know. So how is life and the way you see your future different now?
Well, the way it is now, I'm all in this. It's actually been just so eye-opening to the possibilities of what my life can actually look like. I'm thinking down the road, I'm thinking to the next day. So yeah, my life, it's not like I just have some renewed purpose, but it almost feels like it. You know what I mean? I've always had a purpose, but it feels like that there's just something more for me beyond just the 40-hour grind, the 50-hour grind of just wasting away at some job that just doesn't fulfill me, That's probably the best way I can sum up at how my life has really changed. And also, with my partner, it's renewed her interest in things, and I'm getting her more involved with it. So it's been actually really, really, really good for both of us. So it's been an amazing process, to say the least.
That's cool, man. That's cool. It is interesting how, I think that was really well said. Not too overhyped, but not not kind of understating it. It's like, it's not a renewed life. It's not like you're born again, but it kind of feels like you are, right? It kind of feels like you just have this kind of new sort of motivation or purpose, and you just see the world differently. What's your perspective? I know you were working, or do you still have a job?
Yeah, I'm still working. I work at a plastic manufacturing company, so I work around just plastic all day.
Wow.
It's one of those jobs where it's like you just do the same thing over and over and over until basically you wilt away or you retire. Whichever happens first.
Yeah. So, like, how do you see it's got to feel good, or I don't want to put words in your mouth. How does it feel? That I can only imagine some months ago that you kind of maybe saw your future as retiring there, or like maybe you could get a better job at another company or something. And now it's like this 180-degree turn to where you see maybe you working for yourself, and just that seems like a pretty extreme contrast to see your life in your future and on one path, and now seeing it on a completely different path. Can you describe kind of how that has changed, or if it's changed?
Well, absolutely. Like, working at a place, every place somebody works, there's always like that older generations that's there. So it's almost like you're looking into the future of what your life actually has in store if you continue on that path.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, I do not want to be sitting around and just being old and miserable, and just like the only reason you got that job is because it's got some good fucking health insurance, I mean, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you,
right?
Because I saw that,
I saw that,
and I was like,
it's such a common thing, right? It's like, I got the job, I'm keeping the job because of the health insurance.
Oh, I mean, and I have people that work at where I work at that's the only reason they continue to have that job, is because of I need the health insurance. Like, you're falling apart physically, knee replacements, hip replacements, but I gotta have that health insurance, So
I never thought about it that way, right? I'm killing myself at the job, deteriorating my body, but at least I got some help. The job is providing the doorway for the insurance to put my body back together.
Right. Rather than sitting back and actually like taking it easy and enjoying the fruits of all those years you slaved away, So yeah, like I said, like I was on that path, and there's like, I've always just felt like that there was something more to life than just that. So yeah, I definitely had to take a step back and realize that if I continue doing what I'm doing, that's it. That's the path that I'm going to be on. So yeah, now after realizing that I can actually take control over it and do something about it, rather than just sitting and waiting for it. Like, yeah, it's 180, just like you kind of said. It's actually an amazing experience. Am I echoing?
No,
I'm getting a weird echo. That's not me. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not coming in all echoey.
No, actually, is that a microphone in front of your mouth there?
It is a microphone in front of my mouth.
You are coming in super sexy, actually.
I'm rocking the robe. I got the Falcons rocking. I got my nice little mic. So yeah, I'm trying to be like you, Dave. I'm trying to.
You're stunting on us this morning, bro. I mean, you're actually making me look bad. Like, I need to go get my Hugh Hefner on, throw on the Gucci hat or something.
Oh, I'm all about that leisure life. I live when I'm at home. This is it. I'm making TikToks in the robe. That's it. That's what I want to do. I want to enjoy life. I don't want to just
sit around in your underwear, right?
Suit. That's it. Sometimes if I feel like it,
Well, you're probably in your underwear right now. You don't have to let us know. Just leave it up to the imagination.
Exactly. You put your own imagination to it.
If you're in your robe, you damn well better be in your underwear, dude. You damn well better be in your underwear.
Oh, I got my sister's brother living with me, so I can't really rock the no pants party, too much. So yeah.
Oh, okay, I feel you. Yeah, that would be the weird, the weird dude kind of sausage party going on with the sweatpants
Exactly.
and everything. And that, yeah, I feel you.
You can't have the weird like old dad, just everything kind of hanging out on Christmas. You know what I mean?
The sweatpants and the no underwear deal going on.
That's it. Maybe something hanging out on the side. Who knows?
Dude, last night, my alarm went off, and like dude, I'm like running around down like I threw on a pair of sweatpants. The freaking cops came, you know what I mean? Because the alarm in the house went off, and I'm like running around in the sweatpants and no shirt, and it's just like, oh my god, dude, I just felt like just an old dad, just like, what's going on? I got when I was like 12, dude. When I was like 12, just a funny dad story. I was smoking a cigarette in my dad's house in the bathroom, and instead of like any intelligent human being would have done, which was just throwing the cigarette in the toilet bowl where there was water, I took some toilet paper and I wrapped the cigarette up in some toilet paper and kind of did this and then threw it in the garbage can and went back to bed, right? And so yeah, some time later, like I hear screaming, like the bathroom's on fire, right? And so it's my dad busting open the window outside with the hose, like spraying the bathroom, wow. Dude. And I walk outside, right? And I mean, he's half asleep too, right? In his underwear and his tighty whities, right? And I walk outside, I'm like, what happened? I knew exactly what happened. I'm like, what happened, Daddy? Like, I don't know, son. Must have been spontaneous combustion.
Like, yeah, because that happens in the bathroom all the time, right?
That's exactly what that was, Dad. That's exactly what that was. So, so you've kind of blown up on TikTok. Actually, I was just looking at your channel. You've got like freaking 85,000 followers. You're driving traffic. You're creating content. You're rocking and rolling. Talk to us about the getting started, going through training, and then getting into actually putting that training to work and taking action with it, and some of the hurdles you had to overcome at the beginning, and sort of what you've learned along the way.
Well, it's funny you asked that. Like, I feel like that I'm like almost like the typical process of affiliate marketing when someone's just starting out. Like I'm not one of those like immediate. I didn't like blow up overnight. It didn't happen in my first week or my first month. In fact, it was like a really slow growth. Because I guess I was trying to figure out my voice. Because so many people try to emulate and be just like everybody else on TikTok. They try to make the exact same videos with the exact same everything. And that's good and all. You can actually get some traction that way. But it's not genuine. It's not authentic. And people can see that. And people know that. So you've got to, and that was my problem when I first started. And that was like the biggest hurdle that I had to jump over was that, I was so busy trying to be like everybody else, worried about putting a link in my bio rather than focusing on the content creation. That was some of the biggest hurdles I had to jump over. And it's funny you say that I've kind of blown up. Like I was literally, before I made this video that went super viral, I think it's at like 3.5 million at this point. I was literally on the verge of just like almost giving up on TikTok and like it's switching to a different platform. I was like, it's just not for me. I'm getting no traction. Like views are like 100, 200 per video, which is something better than some people get. But at the same time, you're never going to grow with that type of views. And then I was like, you know what? Like it had been about 4 days since I had posted. And I was like, you know what? I've got to stick with this. I've got to stick with this. I'm committed to this and I have to put in the work. And then this was something I had in my drafts that I had recorded months earlier, decided to drop it, literally blew up over a weekend. And like, I'm talking about, I mean, it was unreal how quick it happened, and I
Were
was
you
like
just
so thankful.
were you just shitting your pants? I mean, just
Oh,
going nuts.
absolutely. Like I was like, I'm like, oh my fucking God. Like what the, like, I don't even know what to do. Like, oh shit. Like, do I, like, I got to keep posting a video. Like I'm at the same time, I'm trying to build this Facebook group. So I'm like, oh shit. I'm like
Look,
scrambling around like
it's
a
like it's
madman.
yeah,
Like my,
you're
like
it's
literally like my hair's on fire trying to get anything together so I can try to capture this lightning in a bottle, you know?
it's like now I'm famous. Like I need no, holy shit. Like now I can't let my followers down now, right? Like it's that
Right.
instant like shit, I gotta keep delivering, you know what I mean? Like
Right. And
yeah.
then like you would like rather than comparing yourself to others, like now you're trying to like, okay, well, like I've got to try to compare to myself now. And it's like, oh shit, like I don't even know what to do, you know? It's like somebody's like, you know, you blow up and you're just like, okay, well, like, hey guys, I'm Thaddeus. You don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's like the dude who busted the party, right, in his underwear or something, and it's like everybody's just sitting around, and you like break the door, and you're like, how's it going, guys?
Hey,
Ready to party? I'm Dave, right? You know, I'm here now. So
100%,
funny, dude.
100%.
So
Yeah.
funny. That's
But it's
great.
been good. It's kind of, I mean, it was a great push though. So like, you know, it really pushed me to like really dive into all these things that I've kind of like, I wouldn't say half-assing, but certainly not full-assing. I would say like maybe like 7/8 assing. You
Yeah.
know, that was that little bit. Like rather than, you know, I got so caught up in trying to get the system set up that I didn't really focus on how they actually worked.
You're
And
hitting all the nails, bro,
you
on
know,
this
so
one.
like
Yeah.
you know, focusing on the copy, focusing on like making everything that to me unique rather than just trying to be another, you know, another fish in a big pond, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like you said, man, you hit two things right there that I think are the number one things that people focus on is first and foremost, like if people are going to choose TikTok as their organic marketing method, which by the way, guys, there's other platforms. I know we talk about TikTok a lot. There's Facebook, there's Pinterest, there's TikTok, or there's Twitter, there's YouTube. But for example, you take Twitter, the number one thing that people ask, and it's like, well, when can I put my link in my bio? It's like the first, it's like, and then the other thing that pops up is, well, you know, if I can't put my link in my bio, what's the sense of creating content? Because then I can't sell anything. And it's just all this kind of setup, initial getting ready to get ready to get ready to getting ready. And just kind of just, you know, my dad used to say this funny ass thing on construction sites. I feel like we're, you know, a couple of homies just sitting here talking and everybody's just listening, but this is not PG. So my dad would be like, if I was like doing some dumb shit on a construction site, not
Okay.
getting anything done, he'd be like, you know, why don't you get something done instead of standing around fucking the dog, you know? And you know, I feel like that's like what it that applies. You know, it's kind of like me on the construction site. An example of what I'd be doing is like pull up to the construction site, finish breakfast, have a cigarette, tie my shoes, stretch, couple of sips of coffee, have another cigarette, like that kind of stuff. If I got started and got the work done, I could go home at 2:00, but instead I'm going to sit around and buck the dog and have to get home late. Right. Cause and I feel like that's kind of what we do a lot online is we buck the dog, right? We're just sitting around and then, the other one that you mentioned was the funnels and just all this bullshit about setting things up. And I know it's really important. And I know that it's like something that we look at when we start. Sorry, I just had to block this guy because he's being an idiot. We have to. Yeah, I know that that's part of the business. It is the mechanical part of the business, but it's literally only the tip of the iceberg. And there's that entire iceberg, the rest of the iceberg below the water that you don't see, which is what you're talking about. Am I right?
Oh, 100%. Like you said, it's all important stuff to have set up, but it's not what you need to be focusing on, because all the funnels and all the you can have the greatest emails, you can have the greatest funnel, but if you don't know how to drive people to it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like if you can't get somebody to even say, okay, like I'm feeling this person, I'll go check out what he's talking about. Because if you're just saying, oh, just click the link in my bio, click the link in my bio, it sounds salesy. It just sounds like you're trying to push something. It sounds like you're like, like you say in all the training, it's like you're trying to sell some magic oils or lotions, potions, and pills, I think is the way you say it. Rather than just being authentic to yourself and how what you're promoting actually benefited your life and how someone else can relate to that and benefit their life. So I think you summed it up really well there. All that stuff is below that, and that's like that's the stuff that you need to have, but it's not what you need to be mainly focusing on.
I mean, what I've learned is that here's what I've learned, man, in 10 years is that a couple of things that you've started to experience. Number one, some of the most unorthodox, unpredictable, almost accidental shit is what kind of sometimes works. And a lot of times I'm like, I can't believe that worked. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, a lot of times I'm on purpose, and, don't get it twisted, guys. I'm not, just throwing spaghetti at the wall. After a while, you start to know what works and what doesn't, but it doesn't mean that you don't take chances. It doesn't mean that you don't occasionally throw some spaghetti on the wall and go, can't believe that stuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The other thing that I've learned is that, I want to hit on the other thing that you said that was really important, is that like, just shoot it, create it, write it, and get it out. Because sometimes the goal, that rocket ship that's going to take you to the next level, that's going to go viral, that's going to convert a huge part of your audience into, it could be one email that you send that just is so powerful and such a powerful story and ties so powerfully into whatever it is that you're promoting or marketing that it just converts a huge percentage of your audience. And maybe you felt scared to send it. Usually, sometimes the things that you feel most scared about are the ones that end up being the most powerful. And the other thing that is I've learned is that I basically, all of the automation horse shit, all this, these complex systems and everything that we hear kind of marketed in ads by gurus and goblins out there on the internet, we're going to, is your business automated and kind of all this stuff. And so we then try to set up all this technology and get all fancy and stuff. Honestly, it's nothing but a big distraction. And for most everybody, it's not even appropriate at the level that you're at in your business. It's only appropriate when you have tons of traffic that's coming in and you literally don't have enough hands. Or in some cases, when you have tons of traffic and you change it and you try to complicate it, it's actually hurts your business versus just keeping it simple and focusing more on connection rather than trying to just automate everything and make sure all your technology and everything is perfectly set up and all your pages look nice, right? The ugliest, just whatever I could get up the fastest usually is the best option. What comes up for you is I'm only recapping, honestly, what you've already said, but I just wonder if you could say your experience on one or all of those points.
No, you're 100% right. I totally agree. Like, automations are great, like once you've built something, to make it simpler for you. But if you're just starting out and you're trying to flex automations and you want all these elaborate systems, while they're super cool, they're not necessary until you start actually having a foundation to build on. That's like, you build the foundation, and then you build a little bit of frame, and then you maybe want to add a second story. That's where that automation stuff starts coming in, not the foundation point. The foundation point is just having like you said, a simple, ugly little opt-in that just says, hey, you want to learn how to make money online, enter your email, just something simple to the point. and
or whatever
I mean,
your niche is, right? Want to learn
right.
how
Well,
to
yeah,
want to
exactly. You know,
learn how to
you want to lose weight. You want to be a better parent. You know,
yeah.
whatever your niche might be. Absolutely.
And
But
I
yeah,
think a lot of
it's about taking perfect or imperfect action. That's like
yes.
one of the phrases I've heard recently that really sums it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be perfect at that moment.
Yeah, man. And also making that connection between going through training and realizing that in order to really understand how to do something and to be able to do it in your sleep and for it to be able to be easy and all this, you actually just got to go out and you got to do it a bunch of times, right? There's the reason why we go through training is so we can just have a direct path from A to Z, which in our affiliate blueprint, that's what that does. It's A to Z. It doesn't mean that it's an instant download into your head and now you're a pro. You have to apply the stuff. And over time, after you apply it, you actually then, after you put in your 10,000 hours, you can consider yourself, or you will be essentially a master of it. But you have to put in, which is kind of scary because a doctor goes to school for a long time and then they, somebody's his first patient, right? Which is kind of scary to think about. But it ain't that serious in online marketing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that serious. The beautiful thing is that you're not doing heart surgery, man. You're not doing brain surgery. You're not going to kill anybody. And you know what? The only thing that you're going to bruise a little bit is probably your ego. So if you let that go, and I don't know if you've dealt with that at all, any imposter syndrome. It sounded like you did more at the beginning when you were kind of trying to be other people and comparing yourself. But man, I've found that just the older I get also, the more I deflate my ego, man, and stop trying to look cool and be perfect and all this shit. I mean, honestly, man, now I just wear the same thing every day. I got fancy shit and nice stuff, but I don't even show it off or talk about it because I don't think anybody gives a shit about it. I just think people care about what I say, the value that I bring, the intention behind why I do what I do. If I'm a good person or if I'm a POS, right? If I was a POS, they wouldn't want to deal with me. If I'm a good person who has integrity, does what I say what I do, and I have value to add, then people are going to want to do business with me, but they don't give a shit about anything else. It took me a long time to realize that, man. Where are you at in that journey of kind of deflating ego while building actual real self-esteem, not just kind of, image management type, kind of ego stuff to where, for example, followers don't equal dollars in your bank account, right? So I might get an inflated ego because I've got followers, but really I'm not making that much money, right? So I need to humble myself and say, look, what I'm doing, I'm doing something right, but I need to also figure out how I can monetize this following, and maybe I need to add more value instead of being so kind of crazy and just creating. I don't know. I just wonder if you've had any struggles with ego or ego deflation, or just what this kind of journey has taught you on a personal level.
I think that the biggest thing, I mean, I've never really been one to have like this huge ego ever in my journey. I've always realized that, like, while I may know some things, I don't know everything, so I've always been willing to accept that in myself and been kind of humble and modest, so to speak. I like, and you kind of said it, like when you're talking about the fancy stuff, like, to be honest with you, besides you, majority of other people don't give a shit what you've got going on. They want to know how it can benefit them.
Right,
because
exactly.
I mean, at the end of the day, I read a book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And that is exactly what that entire book is all about. People give a shit about themselves, and how
and there's
things
nothing
can
wrong with that
benefit
either.
them.
That's
Absolutely
human
not.
nature.
No, that's
It's human
completely
nature.
human nature. You're on I mean, no matter how many people you have around you, you're on your own solo path. Because no one else can live your life for you. You have to do it for yourself. You have to make those decisions for yourself. So I get it. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, if you're so worried about, like, oh, what do I look like to other people? What do I look like? Oh my God, like, I don't want to look foolish. People don't really give a shit. They just want to know how what you're talking about can benefit them on their journey. And that's it's the moment everybody can figure that out, the ego can just go away. Yeah, the pride can go away. The only thing that I've really struggled with in my journey was probably a little bit of pride, and I've always been one to try to figure it out myself. And that's something that I've recently realized that is only going to hold me back, and reaching out and asking for help from others and accepting that help is the quickest way that I'm going to grow. So I wouldn't never say it's an ego thing, but more of a pride thing. Yeah.
I can relate to that. I mean, when I started to really, and my pride has gotten me in some tough situations. I mean, my pride almost crushed my marriage because I just didn't know how to be married. You know what I mean? Like, it's like who, my parents divorced when I was 2. Nothing wrong with that. Don't hold that against them. My mom did remarry. My father didn't. I mean, there's no handbook on how to be married. I mean, sure, you can watch other people or whatever, but there's no substitute for, going through it yourself. But then also when you run into a brick wall, which I did a few times, and thank God in that moment, I had enough humility to ask for help or be willing to accept the help that kind of was presented in that moment. And it was sort of a divine intervention. And I kind of feel like that happens a lot of times if we choose to look at it that way, that we'll be in a place to where we need help, or we need a solution. And sometimes it's presented, and it's kind of like this story that was told, and it's just like a parable or a story about the guy who prayed for he was out on a boat or something, or out on an island or something, and I can't remember it. I totally am butchering it. But anyways, he was praying to God, and God said, "Well, I did send help, but you didn't take it." You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that story is, but I wish because it's so powerful. But it's basically like sometimes the help is in front of us, and we choose not to see it. We're unable to see it. We're too prideful to see it. We're too prideful to ask. And in many cases, that has almost cost me marriage, friendships, business relationships, or just businesses as a whole. That's so powerful for you to share that. And it takes some vulnerability to admit that, because for whatever reason, I don't know about women, but us males, I do know we have some pride around asking for help, and you know what I mean? Admitting that we don't have all the answers, and a lot of us end up turning out to be that guy who knows a little bit about a lot of things. You know what I mean?
Right.
We try to act like we know, and I'd honestly rather be the dude who knows a whole lot about like 1 or 2 things, and then I can outsource or hire help, or like I just don't have to know it. And that's kind of what I've surrendered to in life, is that you want me to fix your car, I'm going to jack it up. You want me to cook you dinner, that shit's getting burnt. You want me to, I mean, there's so many things, dude. If you want my help, I'm just going to be the worst. I just can't. But there was a time in my life where I wanted to know a lot about everything and just be the man with all the solutions. It's kind of like how I acted in my marriage. My wife for a long time would share her feelings, then I can fix that. I'm going to give you a solution. And then I realized, Jesus Christmas, Dave, she just wants to be heard. She just wants you to validate her feelings and just say, golly, honey, that sounds difficult. I love you. How can I make you feel loved and supported right now? That just changed everything, not to have to know everything and fix everything. So now today I focus on being an expert in the world that we're in here, online marketing. I don't try to be a cryptocurrency expert. I don't try to be a stock market expert. I don't try to be a real estate expert, but I happen to have investments and things in a few of those different categories. But I don't do it myself. My wife actually handles some of the stuff. We have other professionals. I don't gamble because I'm bad at it. I always lose, right? I'd love to be a great poker player, right? And go sit down with the homies and go out to Vegas and know I was going to go out and have a good chance to win. But the truth is that I will lose. And I've lost over and over and over again every time that I have. I've picked cryptocurrency coins and lost my ass. You know, I want to be the guy who just everything I touch turns to gold, but it's just not reality. And so yes, that ego deflation and swallowing pride and just knowing my lane and staying in it. So it sounds like your lane for now is TikTok. What seems to be in your future, or where do you see yourself going over the next couple of months?
Well, after that whole video kind of blew up, it really like jump started my whole Facebook group. And so I've been doing a lot of stuff on Facebook. I'm starting to expand into YouTube. You know, I've got a video or two up that I try to post. They're absolutely horrendous, but you know, it's all about that imperfect action, you know? And so that's kind of what my main focus is on now, trying to build that community and add value to them by helping them kind of get started, directing them where they need help at, you know, through YouTube videos and stuff like that. So that's my main thing right now. TikTok for the attention, Facebook for the community, YouTube for the education, and then just see where it takes me.
It's going to take you places, brother. And you know, I like your shtick. I feel like is like that realness right there of just being like, this video is horrendous. I don't even know mostly what I'm doing here, but I got some good shit to tell you. So listen up, right? Like that angle, bro, like, and I'm just giving you feedback because you can create your online persona. And those of you listening, wondering, you know, how do I really blow this up? Like, you know, sure. You create, market. You're going to get lucky, which is where preparation meets opportunity. And that's what you're describing that happened a time or two on TikTok. But also you can evolve your brand and what I call like your shtick, right? And your thing, you just, as you said, what you just said right there, that really resonated with me and really made me just kind of like you in that moment just more, right? It just made me feel more connected to, like, you were just being more real and authentic, and it was funny and it felt good. Because nobody, as we go back to what we were talking about a second ago, the pride, nobody wants to hang out with somebody who thinks they're perfect or tries to be perfect. But people love, if you listen to Howard Stern, which I do quite a bit, he's an interesting cat to listen to. He's had an extremely long career, love him or hate him, which you probably do, and that's exactly what he wants. He's had an extremely long career in radio, maybe longer than anybody else, and his income has steadily risen. I think he just closed a deal for some umpteen $1 million for renewed his contract with Sirius Radio. Stupid money. More money than any other radio personality in the world by far. Okay. Stupid money. But one thing that he does is he uses humor. I forget what it's called. What's it called, babe? When you like self-deprecating humor, right? To where you kind of like, he's like, nobody likes me. It's kind of like Eeyore, you know what I mean? On Winnie the Pooh. It's kind of like, yeah, nobody likes me. It's like I can't believe I landed my wife. She's hot. It's that self-deprecating kind of like where you're just like, I just absolutely, these videos totally suck. I know, I'm sorry. I'm going to try to get better for you. I can't even believe you guys watch them in the first place, but check this out because I can show you how to do X, Y, Z in XYZ time, and it changed my life, right? So that self-deprecating kind of humor and shtick is it makes people lean in more and that's what I think a lot of the bro marketers who do the Lambos and the McMansions and shit don't really get is when they do that, people actually look at them with a bit of jealousy and envy, and that's why they get called arrogant. I didn't understand that for a long time, right? I didn't understand that. I do now. But I don't know. I just wanted to give you feedback on that because I think that with you, it fits really well with your personality. It doesn't seem like you need to do anything different, but I just wanted to give you some of that real-time feedback because I see a lot of potential for you, man. I think you're going to keep blowing it up, and I'm really excited for your future.
Well, thank you, Dave. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of key for anybody is like you got to be able to like accept that, you know, maybe you don't, that's not the greatest video in the world, but it like you said, it adds value, it teaches somebody something, and that authenticity and being able to like, all right, yeah, that was absolute trash, but you know what, like if you just listen to what it's saying, you know, you're actually going to get something for it. You know, it may not be the greatest thing to watch, but you know, it's kind of reminds me of like the 80s movies, you know, you go back and look at them now, they're actually terrible, you know, and we were talking about that at work the other day.
Shit, right? Yeah.
Right. Absolutely terrible movies, but you know, they're at least, you know, they were entertaining for the time, you know? So yeah, it's all about growth. It's all about growth.
Well, if you look at the most kind of cult-ish and crazily consumed content on the internet, a lot of times it's in like these chat rooms and forums and these kind of like underground sites and shit that look like absolute hell. Like you log on to the site and it just looks like something from the 1970s or something. It's like, who built this site? Where did it come from? And is my computer safe being logged on to it? You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
But the content is so interesting. And it's so engaging that people just flood these kind of forums and these type of sites. And it's just another example that it doesn't matter what something looks like. It's also the lesson in direct response marketing. What matters are the words, the content, the page design. Actually, it's better if it's more ugly, more white space, so the words pop out more. You know, it's just another example of that kind of, hey, look, we're not here to be cute. We're not here. The content's really good. And I don't know, that's the vibe I get from you. It's like, I'm not here to impress you. I'm not here to blow smoke up your ass. I'm not here to be perfect, but check out what I got to say.
Exactly. 100%. You know, I would rather be honest and authentic, have authenticity and actually help you rather than like dazzle you with a beautiful page. Like, you know, it's not about the page because it's about what, you know, it's like looking at a fancy cover on a book. You know, it looks really cool on the shelf. Then the book is actually terrible, you know, like, all right, well, cool. Yeah, well, thanks for that. And then, you know, but yeah, so, that's what it's all about.
So Thaddeus, if somebody was like kind of like on the fence about coming into Legendary, going through our training and being a part of our tribe here, what would you tell them based on your experience?
I think it's an excellent opportunity to get like really good training and to really get your foot in the door with online business. You know, again, like it is just training. It's not an end all be all, but it's a great jump off point, and it's great for somebody who's unsure. They're not really like, I don't really know, but it's a great test the waters type environment. And then the community, my God, the community is amazing. And that in itself is worth every dime you'll invest into your business, because throughout my whole course, the people that I've met, the friendships that I've made from Legendary has been absolutely just, I mean, I'm not trying to overhype it, but it's been life-changing. And that's like about as honest as I can be. But yeah, so if you're on the fence, you know, dive into that pool, you know, don't dip your toe in the water, you know, dive in and figure it out from there. But yeah, I feel like Legendary is definitely beneficial to anybody that's really wondering whether they want to do online business or not.
Yeah. I love that, because it's like you don't have to. It's kind of like getting and staying clean from heroin addiction, right? Here I go with the analogy, right? The metaphors. I love using these because they help make things simple and make them make sense. But I got clean from opiates, an opiate addiction. That's a kind of a more PC way to say heroin addiction, right? So I got clean from an opiate addiction in 2008, and of course it's like, okay, I'll put down the hard stuff, but what about a little wacky tobacco, you know, a little sippy here or there? Come on now. And I was like, I can't imagine my life like this and it was like, well, you don't have to worry about the rest of your life. Just worry about today. And I think so many of us, when we come into starting something new, we act like it's a lifelong commitment. And it's like, I feel like that holds us back from doing so many things and trying so many things. Because again, we think we get into this catastrophic thinking of, oh my God, if I do this, this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. And what if it doesn't work out? My life is ruined. I will have, it's as if you're a cat, like you get 9 lives. Like, I don't want to waste one of my lives, like on this decision. And it's like, I mean, I know successful people who make more decisions in a day than indecisive and unsuccessful people make in a month. You know what I mean? Because they're just scared to pull the trigger on something. And like you said, just jump into the pool. I know when I jump into the pool, I can get right out of the pool. It's a good analogy, right? I mean, or I can just sit there and dip my toe and go, I don't know if I want to go in, right? Or I can just jump in and feel it. And if it's cold as shit, then I can just get out right away if I don't like it, or I can hang out for a little while and then leave, or I can stay or whatever. So I'd love to leave people with that, Thaddeus, because I think that was such a powerful point. And my hope is for you, brother, that you'll continue to do the damn thing in your robe and your underwear and have a lot of fun and make a lot of money and continue to go out there and spread your message of realness and inspiration. And I hope that, you know, you'll come back, keep us posted. And if there's anything that I personally can do to help you on the journey, don't hesitate to reach out. All right, man.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. I appreciate y'all having me on today, and I'd be excited to come back if y'all would have me. So,
all right, Thaddeus. See you, my brother. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
All right, guy. All right. So go and follow this dude. What a cool cat, right? Cool dude from Atlanta, baby. Falcons fan. Guys, that was a really, really cool and inspirational episode with Thaddeus, as most of these are. But if that resonated with you today, anything that he said, act on the emotion right now and anchor and make it something that's real and not just a fleeting feeling. You know, act on it. I always say anchor in the emotion. Anchor in the emotion. If you're having if you're feeling inspired right now, anchor it by going and creating some content or doing something on your business so you can anchor that inspiration, that positive feeling to taking action in your business versus feeling fearful and then doing something and you're anchoring fear into your business, right? We want to try to bring up and do things that make us feel positive, empowering emotions, and then take an action to connect the emotion with an action, right? That makes us more excited to take those actions. All right. So I'm feeling inspired. I'm going to go and cement this in with some action inside of our business here. And I cannot wait to continue this journey with each one of you. If you're new here, welcome to our tribe. Welcome to our family. And we're excited to continue to support you every step of the way. All right. Be legendary, my friends. Get the hell out of here and have a fantastic day. And we'll see you back here tomorrow.